Okay, headphone warning and spoiler warning. Spoiler warning's obvious. The headphone warning might need a bit of explaining, and that's that I had to actually wait like 2 hours after watching this movie to record this video. Not because I was busy, but because I was so excited and I tend to get extremely loud and my voice, headphone warning for this video. Without any further ado, please slap a like on this and let's jump into it. Alright, now if you clicked on this video, well, the spoiler warning was said. I'll start with my, review, and then I'll jump into some of my Easter eggs / things that I think were worth talking about. But this movie was probably the greatest Marvel movie, next to obviously Endgame and Infinity War, but this made me not care so much that we weren't going to have an Avengers movie for a while. Like, I don't know, you all let me know if you agree with this down below in the comment section, but I feel like Sony and Marvel, Disney, like, they're moving more towards a Spider-Verse than, like, worrying about, who's going to make up the next Avengers. Like, obviously, there's going to be more Avengers movies coming out. There's going to be more people added to that roster. We lost Tony. We lost Captain America, right? There's going to be people that refill those shoes in order for that. But they're also showing you that there's way more comic book arcs and different teams, right, that could carry the Marvel franchise. Different ones. This Spider-Man movie was so good. I've never been, like, I honestly haven't been into theater since, I think, Endgame. I can't remember if I saw Far From Home in theaters. I don't know if I watched that illegally online or if I went to the theater to see it. But normally, my experience in the theater is usually no one's there because I waited long enough to go see it, or everyone is talking during it, right? And I get the worst seats possible because I waited too long and it was just awful. This was one of those true harrowing movie-going experiences, right? I went with my girlfriend's little cousin, right? My son's not quite old enough to see this movie, but literally, collectively, right? When Andrew Garfield was revealed, right? So we have Ned and we have MJ, and they're like, I just wish we could see Peter. And then, Ned having magical powers and abilities is something that I do want to talk about in this video. But, in that scene, they're just like, oh, I just wish there was a way to see Peter. And as soon as that sling ring brought that motherfucking portal open, we all knew, the movie theater knew collectively because of the large eyes. We knew it was Andrew. We literally all started clapping. There were several people that stood up, right? I was just holding, I was pulling my punches, so to speak. I was holding because I knew I was going to see Toby. Toby was the Spider-Man when I was a little kid. Toby was the person who made me want to run up a wall and do a backflip. I could still do that, right? This movie was fucking amazing. But when Toby was revealed, I had to stand up and I screamed. And I was just thought it was worth mentioning that was an amazing experience. Like, collectively, when a movie theater, when everyone in there knows, no one got up when the credits rolled, right? We all stayed. We all know that there's after credit scene, right? That's pretty much mandatory with all Marvel movies. Most movies that have like large fandoms, you got to stay for the after credit scene. But the fact that everyone knew, it was amazing. But just getting back on track here, maybe I'll come back to my review in a little bit. It felt like all three of these Spider-Man movies, like the ones for the MCU, right? So for Earth 616, they kind of felt like they were telling us the origin of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, right? Now, obviously, the origin is that he gets bit by a spider, his uncle dies, and then he becomes Spider-Man, right? That's kind of like was glazed over. I don't know if Uncle Ben exists in Marvel 616, and obviously Aunt May dying and her telling Peter just before dying, with great power comes great responsibility. I believe that served as the sort of like, it's weird, it's like a backwards way of having an introduction, right? So we skip over the spider biting him, we skip over that scene that we've seen now it would have been 3 times in 3 different iterations of Spider-Mans within the last 20 years. The way Marvel did this, I think this is the true origin story of Spider-Man. Like, yeah, he got bit by a spider, but he didn't truly become Spider-Man until this film. And I think the death of Aunt May and the realization from all the other Spider-Mans at different points in their lives, so they're different, right? But being Spider-Man as a mantle leads you down a very similar path. So Tom, right, our Peter Parker got to see what it would be like after he loses someone, and then eventually what it would be like when he gets older and he finds some form of happiness. It showed him the right path. It was that no one should know his true identity, and that really he's more of a local neighborhood Spider-Man. So at the very end of the movie, we have it wrapped back full circle. Peter's in college. Peter's made his own suit again. I gotta say, that fucking color was amazing. I really hope we do get some shots of that leaked from the movie in high resolution from Marvel. But this is the true version of Spider-Man. I can't wait to see where they go with the character. I will say that my favorite interaction was when Tom goes, "I don't want to brag, but I did work with the Avengers." And then Toby says something to the effect, "If that's the Avengers, that's great. What is that?" And Andrew goes, "Is that a band? Right? Are you in a band?" That interaction was so fucking awesome. Those are like, they're true versions of Peter. It's like every single, it's so hard. This movie was amazing. I give it a 420 out of 10. I will say that, who are they, right? So at the very end of the movie, Doctor Strange and Peter, Earth 616 Peter, Tom Holland, they're talking like, he's like, "I can't stop them, Peter. They're coming for you." Who the fuck are they, right? So there's some implications with the color of that it ties into the Loki series and the multiverse breaking down. We did get to see the Doctor Strange trailer in the after credit scene, but I actually want to wait until that's released officially online, because I think it would make more sense to break that trailer down once I have like a copy of it, right? But I think that this is more so leading into a further explanation of the multiverse, and maybe they're just sort of prodding and poking the waters, right? So do you guys think those were Celestials? Let me know down below in the comment section. I personally think that with the way that Loki ended, maybe that Doctor Strange is referring to could be the many different versions of Kang the Conqueror. Now, just sort of touching back on what I said earlier, Ned he became like the chonker version of Strange Supreme, right? It's hinted at the whole movie. He keeps saying, my Nana said, we have magic in our blood or whatever, and then he's able to use the sling ring, and then obviously Doctor Strange said, "Oh, you were able to open a portal." And then obviously, the cape flew to him, and then one of the things that I noticed really that was really hinting at, obviously Ned having a future as a wizard in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the fact that when they go to his house, right, and they're sort of hiding out there with Andrew's version of Spider-Man, if you look on the wall, right, Andrew's asked and tasked to clean up the cobwebs by Nana and all that shit. That was a really fucking amazing scene. We're like, dude, that's so many. I gotta make a second video where I just talk about my favorite moments of this, because this video is really all over the place. Please slap a like on it and let me know down below in the comment section if you want me to make another video where I just continue to talk about how awesome this movie was. But there's some weird picture on the wall, and it looks very similar to the Eldritch symbols that we see at the Sanctum Sanctorum. So maybe there's some bloodline, or we'll find out that maybe Ned's great-great-grandfather was in fact a wizard. Now in the comic, Edward Leeds becomes the Hobgoblin. That's obviously not the path they're going to be taking with the Marvel 616 version of Ned. Although I guess it's still possible they could go that route, because with Ned not remembering who Peter Parker and Spider-Man is, maybe he doesn't remember that whole occurrence in Doctor Strange. So what kind of happened, if I can vaguely remember what happens in the comic books, but basically Hobgoblin, or Ned, is kidnapped and sort of brainwashed, and that's how he becomes the Hobgoblin. So maybe that plotline actually is able to become a thing, since Ned's memory was wiped. Another sort of Easter egg that I noticed, or everybody did, right? So Electro, Jamie Foxx, is he's basically telling Spider-Man, you're from Queens, and you help out the poor. I thought you were a black man. He's like, I thought there was gonna be a black Spider-Man. Basically saying like, there's gotta be, with all these different multiple versions of Spider-Man, there's gotta be another version of him out there. And actually, if you remember, in the original Homecoming movie, we had Aaron Davis, aka the Prowler, aka Childish Gambino, aka Stay Woke, Midget Jesus, right? So like, there's hints with him being, the uncle of Miles Morales, who is Spider-Man, right? A black Spider-Man, right? There's a possibility that could obviously be coming up. Now, we know that Marvel and Sony are going to be moving into the Spider-Verse in the main films, so there's a possibility that at some point Tom Holland's Spider-Man maybe gets replaced or teams up with a Miles Morales version of Spider-Man. You all let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Now, this seems like a really good point to wrap this video up. I've pretty much mentioned a lot of the stuff that I wanted to. Otherwise, this video would be like 30 minutes long. Like I said, if you want me to do another Spider-Man video, well, let me know down below in the comment section. Once that Doctor Strange trailer drops, I'm going to be covering that. I'm also planning on doing a video on a bunch of the leaks that have been coming out for all the up-and-coming Marvel movies. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications all the way on. Also, I've actually done an after-credit scene for when the after-credit scene leaked about the Doctor Strange, and I kind of went over what happened in that. So you can check the link down below in the description for that. Thank you so much for watching.